Hello to you today. I'm back with you with another card to share. This time I'm using Picket Fence Studios Dandelion Wishes. And I'm doing this card for the Scrap and Stamp blog. So I'm doing it ahead of time. And I'm using this stamp along with the Penny Black antique frame. So I'm going to be heat embossing using white Hero Arts white embossing powder, using all three images from the Dandelion stamp set, which I really like using the three of them. They're all really cute. So I want to do kind of like a little collage of the flowers, and I'm trying to keep them towards the center as I'm planning on making a frame for the card. So first up I did this is probably backwards, but maybe not. I did the heat embossing first, and then after that I did the background, which is with Distress Oxide inks. So, and I wanted to keep the background light. Now that sounds funny when I'm going to be doing a smooshing technique, because normally that is going to render a darker type of background, but I just kept it with a light hand. I wasn't really pouncing hard with the cardstock. I'm using Neenah Solar Crest 110-pound cardstock. It stands up really well to this kind of technique. And I'm using Broken China, Cracked Pistachio, and Fossilized Amber for my inks. Now that was hard. My light hand wasn't getting any ink, but as you see, you'll watch this, I am getting ink as I proceed. I don't mind doing second runs with an ink either. I don't want to, I'd rather not get so heavy with it and do it twice than have it messed up. Mind you, like my good friend Ann says, it's just a piece of paper. In any event, I'm drying in between each layer of ink that I add, and heating the back of the cardstock as well to kind of keep it as flat as possible. It does get a bit bent, but I'm going to be attaching it to Fun Foam with some Sukwang tape, so it's going to be very well secured, so I'm not too worried about the bent pieces. So here, see, I'm doing a second layer of the Cracked Pistachio to get some more on that left hand side. And I'm going to go in with the Fossilized Amber towards the end of this, as I want it centered around the flowers. And I even do add some of that Fossilized Amber with my paintbrush to get it right in the centers of the dandelions. It makes them really pop out when you see the card finished. That bottom one especially, I add ink to that. So I heat dry it again. Turning it over. This works relatively well. Turning it over, it does keep it straight as it can. I'm also going to do a background for the inside of my card, but I don't do that on camera. It's something that I did after. So now I'm just splattering some acrylic paint on. I'm using Vicki Boutin acrylics, but I see in the store that they have Dina Wakley's lapis acrylic paint, and that's almost the same color as this. That would work perfectly. I wanted a darker color than the Broken China, which was what the purpose of this was. And I just splatter. I cut out round pieces to cover up the dandelions. I didn't really want them splattered with the acrylic paint, but otherwise it went everywhere. So I've let it dry. I can see I was wiping up the acrylic paint and ended up with it on my hands, and then it ended up more on the paper towel, and it was quite the riot going on with the acrylic paint, I'm telling you. In any event, so this is the finished panel, which I think I'm happy with. Now I've added a bit of the paint in towards, like you can see it on the front a little bit better, the yellow paint. I'm just showing that I've used Fun Foam and the Suquang tape, and I've mounted it on a Bazil cardstock, a pretty blue from the package of cardstock, which I think looks really nice with this. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment, which you'll think, well, if you're going to do a frame, why would you do that? But you'll see as I proceed. I leave the stamp in my MISTI to come back to after I make the frame. So I'm going to use Ranger Archival Ink in Manganese Blue for the sentiment. I'm trying to keep it as best I can away from embossing. I do get the stem of one of the dandelions, but that's okay. I give it several runs with the ink to get a good impression, and it does cover up pretty well. Oh, well, you'll see the pink envelope in behind. I have the sheet taken out of my MISTI, the matte, as this is a thicker card than normal. So just to give it a little bit more contact, I added just an envelope in behind my card. It just needed a little bit more of a lift. And this was enough to do it. Just add that envelope in there and it was perfect. So it made good contact. When the smaller words leave the impression, you know you've got good contact. So that's what I was looking for. So I finished this part up, and then I die cut with using the Neenah cardstock again. I die cut the frame using the Antique frame by Penny Black. I just thought with this background, which is kind of different, the ruggedness of the Penny Black frame would look quite nice on it, I thought. So I go ahead and do that. You can see here I run it through my Gemini, and usually what I do, I'm always end up leaving a little bit of the metal from clipping the wires, so I match those up when I'm matching up my frame, and that way it comes out basically pretty even. It's just making sure that I have the distances correct, which by the looks of it there I did. I used washi tape. I've used all kinds of tape, but I really like using the washi tape. It doesn't tear the paper. And it's not difficult to get off, which a lot of the other tapes are. And I reuse it again. I mean, it's not just a one-use deal. And that piece, the piece on the left there from the inside of the die, I use that on the inside of the card. So nothing wasteful here. I use Nuvo adhesive to attach it. I changed my mind on the way I want that corner to be up at the top. You see that corner that comes down on the right hand side? I changed my mind. I want it up at the top, but you'll see that when the card finishes. And the reason for that is the layout, the way the frame will sit on the card. It works out perfectly with the words. So I only end up having let the wind, I only have the that's on the frame, so there's nothing split, which works out quite good. Once I've finished stamping the sentiments, there's not very much else that I think the card needs. I think the background is pretty. I quite like how light it is. I like the way the dandelions look. And I like the sentiment, and I like the frame, so I'm quite happy with the way this turned out. And sharing it with you. Seems to me that I haven't done a video in it feels like a couple of weeks. It's just been a busy time for me. I should say too that I used Ranger Archival cleaning fluid to clean my clear stamps, and it really does a great job. I really like that. I should make a point of adding that on my affiliate list that I've done for this card, as I don't think I have, but you'll find that it's really good at removing even this dye, this archival dye ink that cleans the stamps up really nicely, or very nicely I should be saying. So a couple passes and it has the impression. Looking quite nice, I think. I appreciate you stopping by today and having a look. And watching my video. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. It's nice to see that when people watch the video. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.